Sorry, excuse me. My country for a cough button. A couple of things we got to get to really quick here. First of all, if you have not been checking out... Oh, Jenna, you know what my first thought was?
Yeah.
All right, right now, a couple of weeks ago when Phil Donahue co-hosted with us for the day, that is the #1 tracking Deep Ellum on-air video, yes?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so that's right now #1 on the charts. I think what we're about to do here might replace the Phil Donahue.
Couple Phil Donahue,
Yeah,
huh?
the
Okay.
co-host. Greggo, Greg the Hammer Williams joins us on the phone. Hi, Greg.
Hey, what's up, Pugs?
Well, first of all, thank you for doing this. Appreciate it. Tell us.
It's not like I have anything else to do.
Okay, that's true, and we'll get to that. But first, let me say this. I think that your new blog site, Greggo's Gigantic Blogging Cafe, has been fantastically insightful. What I love about you in this incarnation is that, boy, there are no flies on you. You tell it all. You are not holding anything back. It's got to feel good. Got to feel liberating, huh?
Well, yeah, a little bit liberated, but basically, it's I've always hated the fact that if you get fired, which I was, my ass was fired. If you get fired, then if you put up any kind of defense, any kind, then you're a disgruntled employee. You had somebody, with an axe to grind. So, in other words, it was, you take the employers, you take their side, and they're always right.
Well, now,
Because,
in my experience, and I don't mean to cut you off, but in my experience, and I've been there a couple of times myself in a 20-year talk show career, I have always remained silent because there were papers that I signed that said that I would. I mean, are you in any sort of danger of violating any kind of confidentiality agreement?
Maybe, but I don't care.
See, and that's what I like.
I don't give a crap about it. Can we cuss on here?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Say
Okay,
whatever
I
you
don't
want.
give a shit. I don't give a shit about that. I mean, if it costs me money, so be it. I've been okay in this business, and it's time that if they try to buy your silence, I'm not in with that.
See,
I'm just not in. Now CBS, what they're trying to do to me, I really don't know. I mean, I've got attorneys looking into it. We'll see what happens. But right now, I just don't care because I've been fired from all 3 all sports stations within the past 6 years, and so my career in radio is, in essence, over. It's done. Nobody's going to hire me. I mean, who the hell would hire me, in this market? I mean, they won't, because perception is reality. And perception here is that I'm toxic. So they're not going to hire me. So, I don't give a crap what they think anymore. I just really don't.
All right, well, let me just first say this. For those of you, many of our listeners are listening in Chicago. Also, we've got people scattered out all over the country. You people here listening in the DFW area, you are privy to the background of Greg Williams, who we're talking to. For everyone else, Greg is about as iconic a sports talker in this town as they come. For my friends in Chicago, I would say that he is, you know who Greggo is? Greggo is a Dan McNeil, and I hope that that's not, do you know who Dan McNeil is, Greg?
I absolutely know who he is, but, I'd rather be a Mike North. Can I be a Mike North?
Well, I was going back and forth on that. I personally like Dan McNeil more. I know both of those guys, and Dan McNeil is, I think, the true talent, so I was going with, but you can be Mike North, sure. Mike North is also a big, bombastic, polarizing figure. For those of you listening in Chicago, you know who we're talking about.
I've been here in this area for 27 years, and, I feel like that I have the pulse of the DFW, sports fan. And, well, you know what, Pugs? No, I know I have that. I know I have, because it's so simplistic. It's so easy. I mean, I am, broadcasting to a audience of me's. I mean, they're me. I mean, I'm broadcasting the guys that think like me, that they have the same mindset. And so, to me, it's very easy. I mean, it's an easy process that a lot of people want to make very, very difficult, and that's why they will fail.
Now, you started, for those, again, we'll give them a quick refresher on what you've done. Started out at The Ticket. You went to TCU. You were a local kid, local college. You get a big job at The Ticket. Go ahead.
I first worked for 6 years, Pugs, at WBAP.
Oh, okay. All right. You know what? Look at that. I wasn't aware of that.
And it was from there that I met Mike Reiner. I mean, he and I had several jobs. He had another outlet, me at WBAP. And, he was approached to do an all-sports station because Dallas was at the time, was the largest market that didn't have an all-sports station.
Wow. Yeah.
And so, Reiner was one of the ones instrumental in putting that together, and he wanted me to do a show. And it was much to the chagrin of everyone else. I mean, it's the best kept secret in the history of DFW Sports Radio, because I was basically hired in July of 1993, and The Ticket launched on January 24th, 1994. And so, I mean, I've been an employee for almost 4 months.
Yeah, and you guys, what you guys built there at The Ticket was, well, I mean, I don't know, how many Marconi Awards? I knew
one. We only won one Marconi, but, everything else we won multiple times.
You were widely regarded as one of the, as I said, I was in Chicago at the time that sports radio really started to blow up. We had a station there called The Score. I worked at a station up there called WMVP, which is now AM or ESPN 1000. But we knew of The Ticket. We knew what was going on. We heard about what you guys were doing. And when I moved down here, it was The Ticket and Kid Craddock were the only two Dallas area media things that I was familiar with in another market. And I couldn't wait to begin listening to the Hardline, because everybody that I knew, all these consultants and all these other people that were running around the sports radio business, they would always talk about what you guys were doing down there. So you become a member of the Hardline, which is probably, for my money, and I'm a sports radio junkie. I mean, I listen to shit online all day long. The Hardline, circa, I'd say late 90s into maybe 2004, was the greatest sports radio show in America, and you were a big part of that. Well, you were the co-host of it, so that's got to feel good, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I look back at that, and, if I can be so arrogant, of which I am, I'm one of the more arrogant, egocentrical guys you will ever know. I make no apologies for that. We were terrific. I mean, we were freaking good. I mean, we knew how to put on a show. We knew how to capture an audience. We knew how to keep an audience. I mean, we knew the balance between, talking sports and, for the lack of another term, guy talk. I mean, we knew how to do that.
You guys did it. You guys did it better than just. Yeah, you did it absolutely as well or better than just about anyone else in the sports format. And you were ripped off. You were imitated. I mean, every town in America tried to do something similar to what The Ticket was doing down here in Dallas. Now, what I always liked, if we could just talk a little bit of shop from a total radio geek, and we can do that here because we don't have a break. We're not up against a break or anything. What I loved about what you guys were able to do, and maybe this was luck or maybe this was by design, but it was, and I tell people this, the Hardline in its prime was the best balanced show I have ever heard. And by balanced, I mean you could be in a car with your grandpa, your father, and your son, and everybody in that car would find something to listen to, someone to identify with, whether it was the younger people identifying with Corby, the older demos identifying with Reiner, the edgy people identifying with Danny, or what you brought, which was the everyman. It was, without a doubt, in my opinion, the best balanced show. Not since Howard Stern, when Jackie was there, have I ever heard a show balanced as well as you guys had.
Wow, I don't know about the Howard Stern deal. I mean, that's some high praise.
Well, I'm just using that as another example.
But I mean, we were damn good. I mean, we were absolutely damn good. I mean, we brought up stuff, and here's the thing that I like to tell. I mean, Pugs, as you know, living in Dallas, it's a football town. I mean, it's a Cowboys town. It's a winners town. And the absolute best we ever did in ratings, and by the way, our ratings were usually, 3 or 4 points ahead of anybody else. I mean, it was a race for second because we were dominating first place.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it always bothered me because I was over at a station that was probably the closest thing to a Guy Talk competition that you guys had. And we had a guy on afternoons there, Russ Martin, who would talk about being number one by dominant margins. And I'd be sitting at my desk looking at the ratings going, this guy is lying. This guy has never been better than the hard line. And you guys never fell into that.
Yeah, but I love Russ Martin. I mean, I appreciate what he does, and I think he is absolute greatness. So, I'll give you a pass on that. I mean, maybe you misread the ratings, but so what? Everybody does.
No, he was doing it on purpose because next he would talk about how we were
we were damn good. I mean,
you were dominant.
Yeah.
We were very cutting edge. We did it our own way. We didn't care. We would ask, okay, what's conventional radio wisdom here? And they would tell us, and we'd go, okay, well, we're going to go the opposite, and we're going to make this work. And we did. I mean, it was a good run. I mean, I was there 14 years, and it was a good run.
It was a great run. I guess the question that's just sitting out there: what's your relationship with those people now? I know that you and I share a friend in Bruce Gilbert, a guy that we both terribly respect. How about everyone else over in that area?
Very good. It's a very good relationship. I mean, I have somewhat of a good contact between everybody there, except for my former partner.
So
Mike
you've not spoken to Mike Reiner at all?
No, have not spoken to him after October 12th, 2007.
How about?
And it pains me to say that.
How about Corby? Have you spoken with Corby?
Oh yeah. I've talked to Corby, many times. We've met up at big events that we covered, World Series, and Super Bowls. So yeah, I mean, Corby and I are really cool.
Okay, good. And Danny, I assume Danny is cool with you as well.
Nah, he's a little bit on the edge, but yeah, I mean, we're cool with him.
Okay, so let's move forward now as we talk about the life and career of Greg the Hammer Williams, Greggo, to those of you who are fans for more than the better part of 20 years here in Dallas-Fort Worth radio.